What's up guys, I'm Mackenzie and today I'm going to show you guys a little trick that I picked up in FIFA 17 career mode already that is going to help you guys pretty much get indefinite amount of funds on FIFA 17 career mode. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video today, be sure to like button, subscribe, comment, for these suggestions down below. And I did a video on this on FIFA 16 where the cheat slash glitch was pretty much the exact same, almost. So if you want to check out that video as well, you can check that out. There'll be a link in the description to that video. It might explain it a little bit better or a little bit differently. If you don't understand this video, you don't understand how I explain it today, you can watch that video, and if you still don't understand, then make a comment down below and I will get on to helping you there. And yeah, if you want to give it a share, that'd help out a lot as well. But today we are going to be on FIFA 17 career mode, and as you can see, we're at the end of the season, the first season of career mode. I've just skipped forward to 2017. Of course, if you're doing your career mode, you'll be playing through, so you'll get to the end of the season as well. And this is where the cheat slash glitch kind of comes into hand. You don't do it throughout the season, but this is when you do it, and it's a bit more complicated now because of FIFA 17 and the new objectives. And as you see here, they've got new objectives, especially if your financial is high. If that's like a critical or high objective, then it's gonna be difficult. But for me, with Chelsea, because of course they're really rich, they don't have any financial goals. But I did this with Everton in the career mode, and they had financial goals, and it was pretty much don't let the wage get over 20%, and that kind of jeopardized the glitch that we're going to do today, and I'm going to show you. But you can get around it. Even if you do fail some of these, you still can keep your job pretty easily. It's not too hard. They're usually pretty alright. We're going to our finances, and we're going to see at our budget. We've got 1.4 million transfer budget, 36 million wage budget. Now, we started the season with about 100 million transfer budget. As you'll see, I'll get it up to 100 million, and we had 500,000 wage or something like that. As you'll see, it was about that. Okay, so that's how much transfer budget there was. Of course, I allocated it all to the wage, and I'll show you why in a second. Because then we go over to our contracts here. We go into our contracts, and you see we've got 1 million transfer budget, 36 million wage budget. Remember that. And this is difficult again because now you've got like a whole. You've got to look after the finances of the club, and if you have really high wages, you're probably going to lose a lot of money if you're not getting the right player shirt sales or ticket money or whatever you're getting your income from. So yeah, using this might jeopardize that for a few months, which is why you leave it towards the end of the season. If you can leave this towards the last week of the entire season, that's the best possible thing to do. I'm just going to do it now because it doesn't really matter, but for you, try and leave it as late as possible, but don't leave it too late. We're going to go here, and what you got to basically do is you've got to get some players that aren't out on loan. You can do this with players that are out on loan. I just advise against it, and you got to make sure they're not old enough that they are probably going to retire. So if you were to get someone like John Terry, they actually might retire in the next season, so try not to give them a contract. What we're going to do is this guy's out on loan. You're going to go to someone like John Obi Mikel. That's necessarily probably someone that you're not going to use. So if you have a bunch of young players that you're never going to use, you're going to try and sell them, give them a contract. Now, most clubs won't have the financial strength of Chelsea with 36 million wage. I understand that. You can do this with low league teams. You can do this with a team that has 50,000 wage. It will help you out quite a lot. Trust me, it will. I've done it in previous FIFAs, and it is really good. So basically, what you want to do is you want to give them 1 million. Don't give them 2 million or 30 million, because trust me, I've tried. It doesn't work. For some reason, it just cuts it down to straight to 1 million. So what you're going to do is do that. You're going to give them a squad role that they would like, and you're going to give them 1 million salary. And now you're asking, why would I give them 1 million salary? Basically, this is the glitch slash cheat, is that you give a player that you're not going to use, and you give them a contract they're not going to refuse. You're going to give them the squad role in the years they want, and then you're going to give them ridiculous wage in 1 million wage. Why would you give them 1 million? Because next season, as I'll show you in a second, we're going to get into there, and we're going to trade off these players for other players that we might want, and our wage is going to be stacked. Because you know, at the end of career mode, they say they're going to transfer your budget over, but no matter how much money you have, say you've won 200 million, you've won the Champions League, the league, and all of that, 200 million transfer budget, 4 million wage budget, it always gets cut in every FIFA. It's a bit better this year, but it still gets cut a bit, and it still gets adjusted. So this is a way to go around it. So you use up all of your budget, all your transfer budget, all your wage budget, and the next season you'll get money back, and then when I show you this cheat, it's going to help you out even more. Now I'm going to give out a lot of contracts to a lot of players that I'm going to just trade away in the future, and yeah, we'll see that in a second. Let's go. Alright guys, and as you can see, all of these players have accepted 1 million wage per week. As we're going to see here, all of them are on 1 million wage, all of them. There's about 32 players or 31 players on a 1 million wage. Now we see our transfer budget is 1 million, but the remaining wage budget is still 5 million, which is quite huge. Now, like I said, you can't offer more than 1 million. million. I'm just going to give the rest of the wage to John Terry. It's going to go down next season down a 1 million wage. But the reason I'm doing this is basically just to use all our budget to show you that even with that much budget remaining, no wage budget, but 1.6 million transfer budget, that even though we only have that much money remaining, we're going to have an absolute load next season. Enough money that Chelsea would probably be able to afford both Ronaldo and Messi. And now that we've given all of our players contracts, we're just going to simulate all the way to the end of the season. We shouldn't get sacked. We've done pretty well. We've won everything. So as long as we get to the end of the season, then we're going to skip forward to the transfer window. And I'm going to show you guys this little cheat glitch thing, which works an absolute peach and that you guys are going to love. And again, if I haven't explained this very well, do comment down below and I will try and help you guys out. And if you guys are wondering why I said to leave the contract negotiations until the end of the season, this is why. Because I had a profit of about 60 million and now there is a profit of 146 million. So there's been about 200 million spent on wages just since I gave them the contract with not enough income coming in. See, 32 million player wage a week. So of course, with that much money, you're going to lose a lot of money. So if one of your goals is to not lose money, you're going to fail that goal miserably. Trust me. So leave it for the last week or the last 2 weeks and make sure you give them the contracts they desire, because then you'll get them and you won't lose as much money. Okay, now we're going to end the season here. Of course, they got a ton of stuff. Like we said, we only have 1.5 million wage left. They said, brilliant. You're good to do. Even though you failed a few of them, you'll be all right. And that's what's going to happen. Unless you fail all of your goals, you more than likely won't be sacked. If you're just going to fail financially, then it's not too bad and you probably won't get sacked. But if you have the objectives to win the league and all that, and then you also couple it with the financial when you fail them all, then you'll more than likely be sacked. So as long as you're doing your job in every other area, you'll be all right to fail your financial objective, which will then give you the chance to get almost indefinite money, like hundreds of millions of dollars, and afford almost everyone in the game. Okay, so we're into the next season here, and as we go over to our transfers, we're going to see that our budget, our profit is 0. Transfer budget is now on 87 million, so that's quite a lot. And our starting wage budget is 3.9 million, but as you see, you could transfer it over and you could have 60-40, which is what I like to have it on. 175 million, 2.2 million. That is probably relatively what you would have with Chelsea, all right? But as you see, that's a lot more than what I started the career mode with. But as you're going to see here, what you want to do is go to the transfer window. Now, because I'm only doing this as a little video, I'm not going to buy players that I actually would want in this team. But for you, as playing your career mode, you could do this with any player you want. And if you want to buy some young players that are pretty cheap, this is going to work perfectly. If you want to buy some really expensive players, this is still going to work perfectly. What you want to do is you want to go into... Oh, I'm not in the transfer window. I just realized that. Now, when you're into the transfer window, you're going to get some players that you want to sign. They can be any player in the world that you want to sign, as long as you can afford them like this, then you're going to do fine. Now, I've just searched for players that are transfer listed, so it's going to be pretty easy to sign them. And what you want to do is you want to get your players that you've given these contracts to. I've given one to Eduardo, so I'm going to give them the money that they're going to accept, plus this player, because trust me, this is what you have to do. You have to trade them. So unfortunately, that's the one gimmick, is that you have to trade every single player. And why do you have to trade them? Because you can't sell them. If you try and sell your players, even though they might get a bid accepted, a club might come in for them for the amount of money you want to sell them for, they will always decline their contract because they're on $1 million wage. Why would they drop down? That's why you have to trade them, because if you trade them, they get sold no matter what, and you have to force them against their own will. It's kind of barbaric if you think about it. So all I'm doing now is, of course, with your career mode, you wouldn't give a contract to Courtois and try and sell him for $1 million, like trade him off for anyone in the world. But because, of course, I don't care about this career mode, I'm just showing you guys how you're going to make millions and millions of dollars. I'm just going to trade off all the players that I've given a contract to, and you guys will see in a second how much money you can actually get. Alright guys, and as you can see, there are 22 offers that have been accepted, and I'm just going to accept them all now. And as you see, our transfer budget is 220 million, wage budget is 2.4 million, and as we accept this, our wage doesn't change much, and you're like, what's the point of this? Well, as soon as I click accept offer, bam, an extra million. We do this one, guess what happens? Yes, I know we're getting Courtois gone, but you'd not a play that you're going to use go, and all of a sudden, our funds just start going up, and our wage budget is already at 5 million. And now I'm going to skip ahead, and I'm going to accept all of these, and you're going to see it in a second. And just quickly, I've actually transferred majority of them away, but you can still see that the wage does carry over. John Terry's he's not there anymore. I've transferred him out, but that reset down to 1 million. I should have really shown you that, but trust me, it did. And now guys, as we see, I've transferred everyone except for Cable and Zuma because I forgot to offer them to other clubs. But anyway, look at our transfer budget, 205 million, with our wage budget as 32 million. Holy crap. And as we're going to look at our finances here, of course, they all suck at the moment. Of course, they will get better. But if we look at our budget, we can transfer this over to having over 1 billion transfer budget and still 5.8 wage budget. If we put this to 60-40 60-40 split, you got nearly 15 million wage with 1 billion transfer budget. You can buy pretty much any player in the game 10 times over. That's how much money you have now. Now, of course, in this career mode of Chelsea, I've transferred out every single good player, but like I keep saying, if you're using any other club and you're doing a serious career mode, you will just transfer out your 60 overall young kids that will never be in your team anyway, but you won't transfer out like Courtois and Hazard. You'll keep them, but you will transfer out all the other kids that you're never going to use, and any youth players that you've had for over a year, you can transfer them out as well. Make sure you're not giving someone that you've only just signed, because then they won't be able to actually be sold. But anyway, all right, now I was trying to prove to you guys that you can sign anyone. I did go and sign Ronaldo, no problem, but it's impossible to sign Messi, I think, or at least at the moment it is, because I gave him the max amount of wage you can give a player, which is this, because I have that much money. You can see there we still have a lot of wage remaining, and plus about 800 million transfer budget, but this is as much as you can give him. I gave him that. I gave him crucial first team player, and he still didn't sign. So I don't know, is it even possible to sign Messi in this game? Because apparently it's not. Ronaldo signs. Competition for Charlie Masonda. Anyway, guys, that is it. And as you see, I've just signed Ronaldo for 100 million plus 4 million wage a week. And if we look at our budget, we still have a massive budget, 911 with 11 million wage. Incredible stuff. Now, like I said, you wouldn't have to transfer away Diego Costa, Hazard, Courtois, and so forth. You would just transfer away other players that you would sell anyway. But keep it in mind, you can't sell them because people won't accept their wage. They won't be able to be sold, so you have to trade them. And now you can trade them for a youth player. You can trade them for someone that you probably do this again to. What I did in FIFA 16 is I would transfer this player. I would swap him for a young player who might grow. And if they weren't growing, then I would just give them a million wage and transfer them off the next season. And it was just constantly working to the point where I was signing the best players in the game every single season. So that's it. If you have any questions, comment them down below. If you don't understand fully on this video, check out the video I made for FIFA 16. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Be sure to check out my other career mode in FIFA 17. Links in the description. There'll be links on the screen now. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. A share would be appreciated. Hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you later.